welcome back to Life of Dave. I'm back down the boat. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just acetoning the top up here. I'm going to slap some filler on to level it out a bit. We've got all this to sand. But what I want to do is I want to just give this a coating. See, this side's already pretty much done. Basically dusted over with a bit of filler that was left over when I was sanding other spots. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to glass all this over and then gel coat it, because it's full of little pits and voids and whatnots. So I'm just going to give it a bit of strength and make sure there's no chance of anything leaking through it. It had holes all in here, they've all been fillered. Yeah, it's just got to be glassed over. So what I was going to do today is just acetone it up, wipe some filler in. I don't know how far it will go. I only need a very thin layer. I don't need loads of build up. I'm not trying to shape it and make it look nice, I'm just trying to get it flat, a flat good surface to glass to, really. If I glass over half of this as it is, I'll end up with a load of voids everywhere. It'll be really hard to get the glass to stick into certain places where it's just not flat enough. What I was hoping to do was hot coat it, so you know, put it on wet and then glass over the top so I haven't got to sand it again, but I don't think that's going to happen, to be honest. I think I'm going to have to filler over some of this and sand it all to shape. All I was thinking of doing was this bit here today. I wasn't going to do all that. This lot I was hoping to hot coat, but because of all the holes, I think I've got to fill some of them first. Okay, let's get this up. It's warm today. Get this stuff up really quick or it'll harden. Shove that in where I can see the little holes now. So hopefully if I can cover just the areas that need the filler on, that'll be a bit less sanding, you know. It's just to coat where it's needed, and I'll sand it so it's ready to be coated over. I think I'll coat the rest of it when I'm ready to glass it as planned before. Don't need to do that at the moment. I just want to cover the bits where there's little holes and voids. That can then set and be sanded. That'll just be a quick light sanding by hand, really, basically around all these little edgy bits. Right, done. Okay, so we've got a coating over that. It's a little bit messy. This stuff's not the easiest to spread and it starts going off really quickly. It's alright on a flat surface, but this is quite higgledy-piggledy. So all I wanted to do was cover the weave in the glass and the original glass there. I can run the sander over it and just give myself a nicer, flatter surface to glass over. Same as this, it's all ripply, it's, you know, nothing's flat. When I glass over, I've got to be careful not to trap air voids in it. You know, get bubbles everywhere. So we've just put a little skim in around the edge of these bits because as I was sanding, it was knocking little holes into the edges. So I've just covered those. The rest of it, I think I will skim it with a reasonable amount when we're ready to glass it. You know, I'll put some bonding paste up there, I think, as opposed to this stuff. Spread it around. It takes a little bit longer to go off that stuff. This stuff dries pretty quick, so if you're not quick with it, it starts going and then it's a nightmare. So I've got it up there. I'm going to leave it for now and let that set. I don't want to keep going over and over and over it because it ends up making it worse. So that's fine. I've got a layer on. We'll let it set up and sand it next time. Last time down, I got some filler over this lot, so I still need to sand these spots. So this was just basically filling in the last little low spots and nicks that were in it. So I need to whiz the sander over there and just take this back. And I need to sand that side of the windows. I think this side's all done. Yeah, so this side's finished. This side's pretty much done. And to there, just this corner here. So a little bit at the top there, down this side and there. And then I think there's a little bit over here. Yeah, on that edge there. And that's the sanding of the underside of the deck done. While just finishing this bit, which we're going to glass up. And I've still got a glass in, or stick in a couple of blocks as well. That'll be for the cover when it goes up. We can screw to, so I'll just have some stainless screws, a couple in each corner, maybe a couple in the middle, and that'll just hold that up. That's the plan. So once I've done that, that's the whole underside of the deck done. For doing the outside, cutting this out and getting the hatch fitted. You know, which obviously I'm not going to stick me brand new couple £100 off a hatch in the hole and getting it ruined with dust whilst I'm doing all this lot. So right, next job, more sanding I'm afraid. So we'll let that set up now. That's pretty much set now. Let's see, it's already gone hard. It's not set enough to sand, but it's curing. It's already too stiff to do anything with now. It's getting warm. It's still rubbery at the moment, but it is more solid than movable. So it's all spread out. We'll let it go off. Next time I'm down, we'll sand it all back. So I'll sand all this off, sand all that off. Let's get all the sanding done, get this all finished, and then we're into starting down here. We can get this sanded off, cleaned up, and prepped and glassed, gel coated, and ready to make new lockers and put them in this side. Get that done. I've got to knock a hole through there before I fix the final locker in. Basically, cut a corner out of that, make a little passage through there into the anchor stow. So basically what I want to do is I want to fit a windlass on the front, and the wiring's going to have to run down this side through the lockers and into there. So we'll be sorting that out. Right, I'm miles away from that yet, so we'll worry about that later. Right, well that's me done for the day. I just wanted to nip down, put some filler on so it's set up for next time I get down. You know, so I ain't got to do it next time and then I can't sand it. So that'll be ready to sand and I can get everything knocked back, and hopefully that's all ready to gel coat then. You know, the bit ready to glass, this is ready to gel coat. We'll get that all glass first and then we'll gel coat the lot. I'll probably gel coat it maybe, well, I'm going to wrap glass down here, so yeah, I need to get that done first really before I gel coat it. But I want to gel coat it sort of down to here at least, and possibly I might just do the whole back before I put the new lockers in, and then I'll sand the bits where I've got to fix and glass it. You know, might be the better way of doing it rather than having it unprepped. As I found out doing the other side, it's very hard to prep them through a little keyhole. You know, you're trying to sand that down. So I'll need to get a nicer finish on the back side. Well, it's going to get ruined when I glass it, so it's catch-22 really. Ah dear. Well, we'll sort it out. Right, enough waffling. I'll talk for England, I tell you.
yeah, lots of sanding to do, and then I'll work out what I'm going to do. But I've got to get that done, and then I want to get this all gel coated so it doesn't get ruined. It's all sealed then, and I can leave it. Yeah, I've got a lot of other stuff I need to get done. I need to stop spending all my time on the boat. So it's taken up a lot of my time, but I'm pleased now. All this is done, this underside deck. That was a big part of the project. It was a real setback finding that coring rotten. So it's now done. I can move on. Right, I'm still waffling. Right, thank you for watching Life of Dave. I'll catch you all next time. Bye for now. Good morning. Welcome back to Life of Dave. It's Sunday morning. We're back down the boat. So it's Sunday the 14th, May. Halfway through the month nearly. Making progress slowly. Right. Got to get this sanded today. Nib all that down. Nib that down. Sand all this down. And if I've got time, get that lot sanded down. Ready for the next level of glass to go over. So we're making progress slowly. You know, we've got this area here to glass. And then this is already the gel coat. So at which point I've got to decide, am I just going to top coat this and hope it works with one coat? Or should I give it 2 coats and give it a layer of gel coat unwaxed, let it cure, and then a layer of gel coat waxed to seal it? Decisions. I'd like to do it in just a waxed gel coat, paint it and hope it's done. But if I get any little pinholes, bits and pieces, you know, areas that don't quite cover, you know, it means I've got to sand it and do it again, and it's a lot of messing about. I'm thinking I might be better off doing a layer of unwaxed gel coat, just roll it with a roller, roll it out and let that cure first, and then give it a second coat. However, I mean, that's got its own issues. I mean, trying to spot where you've been already in white paint and make sure you get it all, you know, without missing any. But that's another decision I've got to make. I think it might be safer to do it with 2 coats rather than 1. If I'm going to do 2 coats, it's got to be unwaxed and then waxed. You know, I can't do waxed twice, not without letting it cure fully, de-wax it, sand it, you know, and then do it again. So anyway, that's another decision I've got to make, but I'm a little way off of that yet. I can't do anything until I've finished this, really. I need to get this sanded down here, get the glass on, because I want a gel coat down here, down the sides, and down to a point where I can terminate it, you know, and not give myself a line that I've got to work with when I start painting the rest of it. So if I painted the top at the moment, I can do all this side, but I haven't faired this, and I can't do this side, so there's no point in me painting that bit, you know, or any of it, until I've finished enough that I can just get on with it. So there we go. Right, talky. Right, well, we're making progress. Unfortunately, there's a lot of sanding to be done, and that's just part of the parcel. Anyone that's doing this sort of job, that's what you've got to do. If you let stuff cure up, you've got to sand it, you know, and all this prep work is sanding. Unfortunately, it quite often seems like you're not getting anywhere. You don't look any further forward. However, you know in your mind you are, because all this is being done and you're ticking it off bit at a time, bit at a time, bit at a time. Every time you take little bites out of it. And I'm starting to move forward now, and I've got to a point where I'll jump forward loads. I've got all this deck done, I've got the lockers done this side, everything's prepped and ready. The only thing I've got to do now is make some new lockers for this side and get them fixed in. And then I'm just down to doing the sides. It's pretty much finished in here. I've got a little locker I want to now make under the door there. But other than that, I mean, we're almost done inside, so I can start cleaning it up, getting it all tidy, get some gel coat on, make it all look nice. You know, once I've done in here, I can start outside and getting the rest of it done. This was the major bit. I've still got quite a lot of work I want to do out the back, so it's going to be quite major. But, you know, I want to get this finished first before I start anything else. But we are moving forward, and we're getting there now. Like I say, leaps and bounds. I've got so much done recently. But yeah, time is a big factor. Right, I'm going to crack on and get some sanding done, because if I sit here talking all day, I ain't going to be moving forward. Right, let's get on.
Right, that's nearly there. I've still got a little low spot there that won't sand out. That's clean, that is. This corner needs sorting out. There's a couple of little low spots there. As you put the filler on, it all comes out, squidges out round the window, and you know, not on the surface you want it. It's very close though, very close. Just needs a little bit more. Rough it up a little bit. It's nearly there, but not quite good enough for my liking. So that there is all rough. That's good. That bit's terrible. Through to there. It's not bad, but it's just not quite good enough. I can pick that up. With the light coming through the window, the camera doesn't work very well. It's just not picking up the detail. But it's just a couple of little rough spots there. But while we're mixing up fur to do elsewhere, I can just lose that. It's very minor, and on this side here, the line's cut in to the corner where you're sanding this side and sanding that side. It digs a line in rather than smoothing round. So I need to fill these and then maybe do this bit by hand, being careful not to run the sander into it, because what it's doing is he's cutting this line in and it looks nasty. There's a little low spot there that won't buff out because it's too deep. And they're all very minor. I could paint over it and la-di-da and all the rest of it, but whilst I'm doing it all, I want it done as well as I can, and that's not as well as I can yet, so it's getting there, but not quite.